Hey guys, this is Melissa Zad for Into Boxing, and I am delighted to be joined by the voice of Queensbury. Can I call you that?
Oh, you can call me it. Whether or not it's true is a completely different matter.
Dev Sahni. Am I saying that right, Dev Sahni?
You are. A lot of people get it wrong. I've had Sahni over the years. I've had Dav. People call me Dav. I got called Dav last night. All right, Dav, yeah. But yeah, Dev Sahni, like the sandwich, is correct.
Oh yeah, like the sandwich. I didn't even think of that, but that's correct. Dev, we've just had the press conference ahead of Saturday night, cracking card at the Copperbox Arena. We've got Sheeraz, Hamzah Sheeraz and Torres headlining, and we've got Mark Heffron as a kind of supporting main event. How are you feeling ahead of Saturday?
I'm feeling all right. It's a bit colder in here than I'd like, but I'm feeling all right. About the card, very excited to see Hamzah Sheeraz back. Very excited. He's 15-0 now. He's knocked out 11. He's knocked out his last 9, and he's just won that award as well, Young Boxer of the Year, and that's been won by the likes of Amir Khan, Ricky Hatton, Prince Nassim Hamid. It normally promises big things. Billy Joe Saunders, another one as well. So he's got that added. I don't know, it could be a pressure, it could give him an extra spring in his step, but I do wonder how he's going to get on against Francisco Torres. I think because people don't know who he is really, Torres, they're probably thinking it's an easy blowout for Hamzah Sheeraz. He might make it look that way, but this is by no means an easy fight. This is the toughest fight of his career. Torres has just come off a draw with Jose Benavidez. It's a draw that he feels he won. It's a draw that the crowd that night, who booed Benavidez post-fight, believed that he won. It's a rematch he wanted and a rematch that didn't happen. He looks a bit like Bradley Skeet, as I pointed out at the press conference, so there might be some exorcising of previous demons to take place from Hamzah. And yeah, it's a chance to make a statement as well. I do wonder how he gets on. Hopefully he can just get him out of there and make that big statement. Heffron Clark is literally just hearing Frank, who's getting an interview done over there. He just said he's got fight written all over it. So I echo Frank's words. It's got fight written all over it. And what's the key to the win here? I think Lennox Clark is the bigger, thicker guy, but he hasn't been active. He's been out of the ring for 14 months. He goes into the fight as a bit of a favourite because he's the champion, and Mark Heffron is in theory coming up from middleweight. But when Mark Heffron boxes at higher weights, he hurts people and he knocks them out. So there's a real intrigue heading into that. They didn't really get into it at the press conference. They didn't really go back and forth as I was hoping. So I think a lot of the back and forth is going to happen on Saturday night.
I mean, it's really exciting. I mean, let's touch on Hamzah Sheeraz first. Obviously, as you said, Fighter of the Year, Young Fighter of the Year award. And obviously this fight will mean that he gets a WBC Silver International ranking, right? So that's kind of puts him in line for, the future. It kind of has that feeling about it where the door of the future is about to open for him. Is there a potential that on Saturday night that pressure might get to him?
I don't think so. I can see why you'd say that. And I could see where it would be true with a number of other fighters. Hamzah Sheeraz is not one of those fighters. He looks the part, he talks the part, he is the part. He's the coolest man in the room here. He's headlining on Saturday night. I'm looking at him just walking around, and he owns the room. I've never seen him wilt or crumble under any pressure in any circumstance. And there was a moment, I think it was Midlands Mayhem, we had a show. It was November 2019, where he stopped Ryan Kelly. And around that fight week, I felt like he'd gone from a boy to a man. And that's happened now, and I can see that. He's 23 years old, he carries himself differently, and you could say maybe he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders, but you'd never know.
I mean, that is definitely a statement. I was looking at him throughout the press conference, and he just looks very focused, very present as well. Like I don't ever look at him and get the sense that his mind is flitting, he's overthinking, he just looks really the part. So it's very exciting times for Hamzah Sheeraz, really looking forward to what the future brings for him. Aside from those kind of two main fights of Saturday night, is there any other particular fights on the card that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, look, the other two title fights, Dennis McCann and James Beach. Dennis McCann burst onto the scene, 2019, 9 amateur titles, got a knockout win on his debut at Stevenage. Tyson Fury was ringside, Billy Joe Saunders was headlining that show, and he's got a lot of hype behind him. He's had a lot of build-up, a lot of momentum. That was all at bantamweight. he's now stepping up to featherweight because his knockouts seem to wane a little bit. So he feels that that's because he was dieting too much to try and make weight, killing himself to make weight essentially. So Dennis McCann at featherweight is apparently a whole new menace, and I'm looking forward to seeing if that is the case on Saturday night. And he'll find out very quickly whether or not he is a whole new menace, because James Beach will come to fight. James Beach came to fight against Brad Foster, came to fight against Chris Bourke. These are good fighters. There's his only 2 losses, and he holds his own. So he's very confident heading into Saturday, as is Dennis, and that's what I'm very excited about. And Nick Ball, I just want to see him fight. For me, he's Liverpool's answer to Gervonta Davis. Not that anyone's asking, but he's Liverpool's answer to that potential question about Gervonta Davis. I think he's a little tank, and the upset win over Isaac Lowe at Wembley Stadium, it felt so like he jumped up on the rope, he was beating his chest and all that. He looks the part, and he's just follow him on Instagram. Look at some of the stuff that he's putting up on there. He's just like videos of him running, but it looks so cool. It sort of inspires me to go for a run. He's just running along the roads in Liverpool. Fantastic. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. He was meant to fight Nathaniel Collins. Nathaniel Collins pulled out of that fight, I believe, injured. He's now fighting a different Nathaniel Kakalolo. So I'm looking forward to that.
It was actually really funny in the press conference, the Dennis McCann and James Beach. It was probably some of the best trash talk, like the most respectful trash talk I've ever heard. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was good. Dennis is always good when he gets going, and that's why I wanted him to just make sure you hold the mic, Dennis, because he's gonna say something, it's gonna upset you, it's gonna annoy you. And I had a few quotes lined up that James Beach had said he'd been beating up flyweights and stuff like that. So he's gonna irritate Dennis McCann. I thought James Beach was quite impressive actually as well. Everything that he'd said in like press releases and stuff, he said it again with a mic in front of him, with all these cameras and people here, and he doesn't get this like every week, like every other month, like Dennis McCann does. So good back and forth banter, good beef, and let's hope that beef gets cooked up very nicely on Saturday. Hey,
I can always kind of trust in you to come up with these little one-liners. They're fantastic.
Just little crap puns. Just that's sort of my gig.
Dev, thank you so much for your time. We're really looking forward to Saturday night.
Okay, thank you. Into boxing, into you, boxing, into, but it's into with a U at the end, right?
No, it's INTU space boxing.
There's not even a 2, like the letter, the number 2. Okay, well, yeah, lovely speaking to you. See you Saturday.